Hi everyone, it's Tim, and this time I'm going to do a facial analysis of Bernie Sanders. Uh, I call him Unicorn Man because he lives in a land of unicorns, leprechauns, and rainbows. Uh, his own magical, delusional little world of his own where he believes that everybody can have free university, free healthcare, free this, free that, $20 an hour to flip burgers, and that the money's going to magically appear on a sleigh with a group of unicorns like Santa Claus, but it'll be a leprechaun riding it, and is going to deliver the money to him to pay for this. What he's not telling you, he's his whole basis here, his whole platform is based upon what's going on in Norway, and that they have all these things. But he doesn't tell you about what's going on, the other things that are going on there, is that they're paying between 60 and 72% income tax, or all, if you combine all taxes, and they hide some of them outside of just income tax. There's levies like what they're trying to do in Newfoundland, but it's between 60 and 72 or 73% income tax. I believe the absolute lowest rate is 54 or 55%. So imagine that's how you would have to. That's what you would have to take from every dollar that you earn at your hardworking job in order to pay for this. There's nothing in this world that's free, and he's so completely delusional to think that people would accept. He'll bankrupt. He'll bankrupt the country, every individual in it. The middle class, the lower class, bankrupt, because you're not going to just take it from the rich. It's not possible. You try to take that from the rich, and the rich are going to rebel. Absolutely. We want to rebel over 40% tax, or 30%, or 28% tax. Imagine what they're going to do when they start trying to take more and more for the guys who are creating the jobs, giving the most back to the economy, and we just want to keep taking more and more and more until they reach their limit and they start moving out of the country, hiding more money, doing what they have to do. I don't blame them for hiding their money. Wouldn't you, if you've got an entire country that's looking to rape your bank account just because of your success? Yeah, I'd want to hide my money too. But anyway, let's get back to Bernie instead of me talking about this. First of all, I'm not an American. I'm Canadian. So who gets in doesn't matter. Sometimes because of the three main candidates that we're looking at, in one way I kind of hope it's Donald Trump, and he actually moves the wall from Mexico to Canada and keeps him and everything he's going to do out of here, because any one of these people are going to destroy your country. I don't care who you like. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican. Look at the candidates are ridiculous. They need to change the system of voting and how people vote, and let the people vote for the issues that they want, and then pick a person to incorporate what they voted, what the masses or the greatest amount of people voted for, to implement for their country. Plebiscite, I guess they've called it. I forget what they call it. I don't follow a lot of politics. I just thought it'd have a little giggle and do a facial analysis on the candidates. Bernie here, deficiencies in every phosphate and silica. In the reality of Bernie, and before I even say this, I'm going to talk about ADD and ADHD, and I'm sure I'm going to use the word a few times as I say this. I don't think either one of them exist. I've spent a long time and a lot of our own money proving it by offering free consultations and free minerals to anybody who wanted it with an ADD and ADHD deficiency or diagnosis, to prove it. And we've proven it in well over 90% of the cases. But anyway, that's fine. Let's talk about Mr. Bernie here, Mr. Delusional Bernie with his leprechauns and unicorns and rainbows, still waiting for them to bring him the pot of gold to pay for all this that he wants to implement. Deficiencies, potassium phosphate, indicated, which is the biggest one, indicated by the sharp indent at the outside corner of the eyes, the receding hairline, the widespread, it's called facial rose, is how they describe it in Schussler, but it's rosacea. He has deficiency in sodium phosphate, the shiny T-zone right here, where it's shiny, the enlarged pores, not a lot of hanging skin. He's thin, really fairly thin through the face. That's sodium phosphate. There's magnesium phosphate, redness of the nose, redness of the ears is the big one. He has calcium carbonate as well. We won't really get into that. It's hard to tell because of the way he's holding his eyes whether it's a real calcium carbonate deficiency, because he doesn't look very relaxed here. Part of his human combustion that I spoke about, or will speak about. Because I think if spontaneous human combustion is possible, this dude's going to do it. He's going to blow up in a bunch of flames on stage or something, because he's so full of inflammation and acidity. Just look how red he is. Look how he's he's grabbing his own lips. This guy needs to chill out, hit a beach, and just chill the fuck out. I'm sorry, he really needs to. Breathe in the good shit, breathe out the bad shit. He needs to calm down before he literally kills himself with the inflammation that's provoked by it. But anyway, I forget what we did. Anyway, he's deficient in all phosphates. Potassium phosphate is the main one, and I'm just going to read you a list. The list is provided by Schussler himself, the founder of trace minerals or tissue salts, and how they affect the human body, both the human body and the constitution of man, that meaning their personality, behavioral traits. The big one is demanding, and this dude, I don't know anybody more demanding than this guy. He thinks that demanding, delusional, confusion, convalescence, depression, anxiety, attention deficit, assurance, lack of or constant need of reassurance. The bald head we already talked about. Dullness of personality, again, excessive demand, excitement, easily excited, exhausted being well. In all fairness, yes, but the man's got a pretty hectic schedule right now. Unreasonable fear, switching pages here, forgetfulness, impatience, inferiority complex, and you only have to look at any debate and watch what he does at his podium alongside of the others. He shrinks himself up, and he bends over. He tries to make himself small and unnoticeable in just about every debate that I've ever seen him in. So yeah, instability. Yeah, this guy needs a nice new white jacket with fold-around sleeves and ties in the back. Moodiness, motivation, nervous inflammation, nervous reassurance, or a need for reassurance because of his nervousness. Lacks oppositional strength. Permanent stress, phobias. There's no way I could know whether he has phobias or not. It is really not relevant to who you're going to pick as your next president. Lacks a positive approach to life. Again, the need of rest. Lacks restraint. Again, permanent stress. Whines. So somebody who's a whiny person. Yeah. We live in a time, I call this Generation E for entitlement. And that's, not only has it run rampant, but this dude is actually encouraging and enabling it. As though the world owes people something, that they don't have to get out and work for it themselves, that they're going to magically get free healthcare, free university, free this, free that, $20 an hour. It's not possible. He's doing this because of the whole, I believe it's Norway, Sweden, Finland, one of those Scandinavian countries is doing this. But what they're not telling you is that those people are literally paying between 55% at the lowest income tax rate is 55% up to 73% income tax. The average is about 60% income tax. But along with that, that's only income tax we're talking about now. So let's talk about the other taxes. Well, unless you American people are ready to pay between $5 and $8 per gallon for gasoline, or to have excise and federal taxes added to everything, like from cars to houses, in the same way they add it to booze and cigarettes. Remember, you can all go to your local Volkswagen dealership in the United States, and you can buy a baseline Volkswagen Golf in the United States. Here in Canada, they're 18,000, so I would imagine they're about 14,000 in the U.S. I don't know. I'm not sure. So let's say that they're 14, 15, 16,000. Say it's 18,000, whatever, U.S. I'm not sure how the conversion goes on cars. In Norway, I believe it is, or Finland, whichever one, that exact same car is the equivalent of 72,000 American dollars, because of all of the taxes that are added to it. Not because of the price of car, it's because of all of the taxes that are added to it. Because of the taxes that are added to it, because the minimum wage is $20 an hour. Everybody thinks everything's going to come for free. It's not. It's not even possible. The guy's so delusional, and you're going to follow him and think all he's going to do is bankrupt every person in the country that's in the middle and lower classes, because nobody can afford to take between 60%, or the average of 60%, and as high as 72 or 73% out of every dollar that they make, and give it to the government so that they can feed or support everyone else. Nobody can do that. It's not possible. And to be able to live yourself, not in today's world, it's just not possible. You think you're going to be able to go buy a McDonald's hamburger when they're paying $20 per hour for a minimum wage? Think about it. Anyway, his deficiencies. This guy's batshit crazy. And his potassium phosphate doesn't mean that your deficiency doesn't mean that you're batshit crazy, but it can be. It's definitely the most significant behavioral deficiency that there is, and that's potassium phosphate, because it's so strong of a need in the nervous system and the human brain and gray matter. This guy may be equally as dangerous as Donald Trump. Just my opinions, folks, from a Canadian who's irrelevant, and I am irrelevant, and I know that. But the facial analysis is real. The indications you can read right from the Schuessler's own website, the indications that support exactly what I say. You can read then the constitutional indications of deficiency, exactly as listed from Schuessler. Not making this stuff up, folks. This is real. This is somebody who some of you want to vote for, and I as much hope that this guy doesn't become president as I hope that Donald Trump doesn't become president. Anyway, folks, that's all. Bye-bye.